Danielle came in and she had her team come and had her drink and all that. PR. We got Lucas in here. Lucas is the host, and Lucas is getting content for you. You the star for
Man,
real.
it's been crazy.
Can't go to Walmart no more.
Can't go to Walmart. Gotta go find some. Go to Akron and shop. I don't know.
You gotta shop at Jackson now. You can't even go to like the Walmart on Tusk. You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Nope.
Probably
They recognize you like that, huh?
Yeah, man, it's crazy.
You just popping
No,
like
it ain't
that.
like that. Don't
be so modest.
You know, I'm over exaggerating, but no. But you know what though? Like for the things that we do and like the platform that I'm on, when people do recognize me, it's cool because I know why they recognize it.
Yeah.
For good stuff, for positive stuff, for being on Lucas Live. Like that's cool. Like the kids, like and then being a cheer coach and all that. Like they recognize me for different reasons, but I'm glad and they feel like, oh, I seen her fighting or I see. No, they recognize
That's
me.
like
for
a badge of honor in camp when they not recognize you for no crazy stuff
For
on
real.
Facebook. Like
I saw you on World Star.
Right. You was on the shade room.
I always think about that. Like I hope they don't see like, oh, you did that on Facebook. That's who that is. That's embarrassing, man.
No, but you know what I mean, you know, because you know, artists, like you do what you know what I'm talking about. So when you out and you're recognized, it's like
But they recognize you.
that's
though.
cool. They recognize you too.
Then you got, you know you big when you got Lucas, the host of the show, being content, cause you doing it.
Yeah. No,
Shout out Lucas live in the building. What's
Shout
up,
out to
Lucas?
Lucas.
Nah, but how you feeling?
I'm feeling great. I've been excited to come here. Like I said, this is something kind of new, kind of different. I'm on the other side of the questions. I'm usually asking the questions, so
Well, we're glad to have you.
yeah, I'm excited. I'm ready for it.
What have you learned in your journey as a host? Like just kind of bouncing around. Like what have you learned? Cause how long have you been hosting?
Not even a year, I don't think.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought you've done it for a long time.
No, like I mean, I think because of everything that I have done, like it's just prepped me for what I'm doing now. Like being a cheer coach and running camps, like that's not just putting together little cheers. Like I have to talk to the parents. I have to get up in front of 80 girls and speak to them and let them know how the day is getting ready to go and let them know this. And just, I think the things that I've done kind of prepared me for this. So working with him and seeing the way he works, I mean, he's a speaker. He goes and does speaking engagements. So seeing the way he maneuvers, you know, questions or sets questions up,
Right.
or talks the way he just talks to the people we're interviewing or whoever, I learn from him and I learn as I go. Like I watch what I do and I go, that was I probably shouldn't have said that. Or me, I talk a lot. So sometimes like when I'm having a conversation, just a regular conversation, I'm always wanting to kind of butt in because I'm so excited about what we're talking about.
Right.
So I had to learn how to just be quiet sometimes and let people talk and remember what they said and come back to it. So truly every time I do some kind of hosting or anything, I'm learning as I go. But I think the tools and the things, the skills that I've had from previous things, it just kind of set me up to be all right at this.
I gotta remind myself sometimes, like, all right, they can't just sit and kick it. Like, we have to know about the guests. Like I tell them all the time, like, I make it about the guests because we're just kicking on here,
Yeah.
and it turns to a family show.
Yeah, no, that's cool though because I just watched. I don't know if y'all watch like DC Young Fly's show, 85 South.
Oh, I do.
Show.
I'm a religious
And they get on there and they
85%er.
just kicking for real. Like if you don't know their content, you would think like, all right, when's the interview gonna start? When y'all go? But there was a guy, Damani, on there, T.I.'s son.
Yeah,
I love him.
shout
I
out
love
Damani,
him
real
so
dope
much.
MC.
But they was on there just kind of kicking it, and as a host, I was like, well, ask us some questions, but I could see what their show, you know what I mean, what their show was about. So.
Yeah.
It makes it feel less like a job, you know? Like
Right.
You're actually
Sure,
just coming
for
here,
sure,
You're just coming
yeah.
to hang out with some people every Sunday. So, I mean, I enjoy coming here and stuff.
Yeah.
And, I mean, like, yeah, I mean, we, like you said, we gotta every now and again gotta kind of reel it back in. It's like, okay, we are here to do an interview and everything, but at the same time, it's like if they're cool, because we've had, I ain't gonna lie, we've had interviews where I'm just ready to go.
Yeah.
Right, me too.
Not everybody have like that. I get what you mean. Like you get an interview with somebody and they're like, oh my God, they're kind of stale. What do I do?
Like, I
Yeah.
thought that was gonna be me because like before I was a co-host, he had me come on and I'm like, what do you have me on?
He had no
You know
experience.
what I'm saying? Like, I don't talk to people all like that, you know, but he knew what I was trying to get into and everything. And like, I don't know, it's just a chance to talk about like, you know, things we experienced growing up and everything. But like after doing it and hearing myself talk, I'm like, oh,
Jordan,
yeah, I
watch
can do
that
this.
chord.
So when he asked me like, hey, do you want to be, well, he didn't even ask me, just told me like, yeah, you're the co-host, not a listening party. I'm like, what? So like,
I saw
didn't-
something in you, man.
Yeah, I didn't. Like, that's the thing is like I never really thought like somebody's gonna want to hear me talk, and how do I make that interesting enough to hear me talk for an hour and a half to where I'm not the person. It's like, man, I'm ready to go.
Yeah.
Oh, I feel that, and that's like you are like a Lucas for him because that's what happened with me. Like I was coming to just like guest host, I think. Like he just wanted me to just help real quick. And I'm like, all right, I see what I can do.
Right.
I did it. And he was like, Danny, what? You coming back. I gotta put you on a team. He started sending me contracts. I was like, Lucas, you sure I can do this? Because I was just helping you. Like, now you want me to, and honestly, I'm so glad that I did. Like, my son comes and gets around all this, like, he done knocked a few microphones over, but, you know, just him being in that cool space. Like, last night, he got to record some of the fights. Like, we got a little trouble. He wasn't supposed to be down there. But, nonetheless, we got some content.
Little man over there.
Okay, right.
Yeah,
so just,
super
you know,
cool.
having him in some cool spaces, like
That's
around
beautiful.
cool people. He got a picture with the fighters last night. Like, that's just cool. So it gets us to be in a space where I can, you know, allow my children to see things that I'd never seen growing up. So that's
And that was cool to see too, like seeing where Lucas started and see you guys like covering the event.
Yeah.
That felt so official, man.
That's so cool. And it's something that's like, you know how you have like a vision, like I want to do something, but you don't know what exactly it is or how it's going to work out. Like I knew that like I wanted to be someone that spoke in front of people, but what am I going to talk about? What am I going to do? How am I going to do that? And so being with Lucas, and then also She Elevates and being a mentor, I always said, so I went to school to be a teacher. And then I got my degree in family and child development. And I said, I don't want to be a teacher, like just teaching just these subjects. I want to teach more than that.
Right.
And I graduated in 2019, so it was 2024, and I'm just now signing a contract with She Elevates to do mentoringship with girls and speak.
Congratulations.
Thank you, and speak in front of them and do what I was dreaming of doing, but didn't know what it was at the time. So
You being in this position now to mentor and being at that age where we're parents, how does that make you feel being a mentor now when you once had a mentor?
listen, I feel like everything I do, I'm learning this skill to get better at this skill, to get better at that skill. Like I'm mentoring and I'm learning from Dolores, and I'm seeing how she speaks and how she works with the kids. And then honestly, I take it back home and I nurture my kids and I speak to my kids, and I'm learning. You know, I say it all the time, like as parents, we don't get like a handbook, a workbook, like here's the rules, here's how you do it. It's life experiences. So the job I work as a special needs teacher, that teaches me so much patience, so much compassion, so much, right? And then when I go home and my kids start to frustrate me, take a second, hold on, let's be patient at home too and not just on the job. So it teaches me life skills, really, and I just mesh them all together and try to be a better person overall.
That's dope. Shout out to you for that mentoring opportunity. That's great.
Thank you.
What about you fellas? I think we all need to get into mentoring this year. What about y'all? Should we get into it more in 24? Can we get some say what you mean mentoring?
I mean, I wouldn't really say. I mean, I don't know if you can really call it that. Like you said, like we had Zoe on the podcast before he was here. And she told me everything about, you know, his situation and everything, him needing some work and stuff. So, like, I mean, he's working with me now. Like, I got him.
Shout out Zoe, man.
I got him a job in there and everything. He just told me, like, look, I'm just trying to get enough money to move out, get my own stuff to send a third. I'm like, look, I need you, but I need you to show up to send a third. He ain't disappointed at all. Like, he got in there. He showed he wanted it. And plus, you know, everything that he went through to have to even get the job. Like, I went straight to my district manager and I went over everybody. I was like, he needs his job. He's good for this, you know, so. Like, I kind of coach him through all of that and, like, showing him the ins and outs and how to talk to customers and everything because, like, that was his big thing.
Yeah.
He was, you know, he was used to moving stuff, but, like, he didn't really know how to, like, talk to customers and, like, hey, while you're there, try to sell stuff. Because in my job, this isn't just moving. I'm like, I have to make a connection with you because for the next 18 months, like, you're going to owe me money. We got to do all this stuff. I got to work with you, all this stuff. So it was a lot of teaching him how to talk to people, how to work with people and stuff. So I don't know if I can call it mentoring, but like I definitely made sure, like when I heard his story, like I made it a point to make sure he was all right, and he's doing cool now and stuff. Like he's really assimilated well with everybody at the store and everything. So
I think we can call that mentoring.
Yeah,
I think we can call that mentoring.
I call it. I think it is what yours is mentoring because I don't think personally there's an age limit on it. We always associate it with children, but I think no matter how old a person gets, we all need some type of guidance in some way, shape, or form. You know what I'm saying? But I just think it's more crucial with children.
And it's crazy because like I was part of the Big Brothers Big Sisters program like we talked about on the previous episode, and I had a big brother and stuff. We did all of that cool stuff and everything, and that's when like I've thought about wanting to do that for a long time.
Yeah.
Because that was just a really cool experience for me growing up, just going and doing everything that we did, you know, the hobbies and stuff that I picked up just from hanging out with them. But like he was, Zoe, he's like 21, 22. And I remember like when I was at that age, that's when I needed it the most, to be completely honest.
For real.
There was a lot of stuff I didn't know about.
Didn't we all need that at 21, 22 years old?
So like if I did eventually get that, and a friend of mine, through Alyssa's husband, and like he tried to put me onto a lot, give me a lot of life skills and stuff like that, like stuff I didn't realize that I needed.
Yep.
But he was doing it more as a friend, like coming from a friend, like a brother standpoint, instead of like, like, let's go out there and let's hit the pavement, let's get you this. Like he did everything he could to try and get me into where he was working at, making his money.
Yeah.
And while that didn't work out, like I'm really, really, really appreciative of the stuff he talked to me about, the stuff he talked me through. And like I use a lot of that stuff today. Like he told me one thing I can't really say on here because it's a little graphic, but but like in short, it was basically like nobody's gonna tell you got to be a man, but you got to go out there and do it. I can't say it how he said it, but and being able to give that to Zoe, like, yeah, you want these things, you want this you want your own spot, you want to make your own money. Cool, I can get you in here, but you got to keep it. And he set up his end of the deal, and I appreciate him for doing that.
Shout out to Zoe, man. Let me ask you this. What was some best advice you received from a mentor? Now that Krishan said that.
Oh, man, because I was over here thinking about the stuff that you said and how it just trickled down, like from you having a mentor to you being a mentor, and to even you saying, like, at 21 years old, like, that's where things started hitting the fan for me. Like, things started creeping up that I didn't know was there.
21 is crazy.
For real. Like,
I remember my 25th birthday.
No, I ain't gonna tell you something.
Day 1 of 21 was me waking up with just in my boxers in my bedroom, no idea how I got there.
Lord.
Nah.
But the best advice. So Lucas, if y'all don't know, he has been in my life for 11 years. So I met him. He was the director of the McKinley Early Childhood Center, and that was my first daycare job. And he interviewed me, and I got the job, and he was great. And then being there, some girls called me up to the office and was like, "Is this you?" And they're going through Corinne Marie's website. So I was modeling some clothes for her.
Corinne.
Right. Shout out to Corinne. I'm modeling clothes for her. And they're like, this you? And I was like, yeah. I was kind of weirded out because I was like, what are y'all doing up here? Why are y'all going through this lady's website and whatever? And they was like, this is Lucas's wife. I said, no way. Because me and Corinne clicked. Like, this my girl, like, I like you, like, okay, cool. And Lucas was the same way. And then to find out that they were married, I was like, I met them at two separate times, and I was like, this is so cool. So
Two peas in a pod.
Like, they're really great people. But I remember when I started my business, the True Body Company, I was taking pictures of my soap, and I was putting all this stuff out, and Lucas was like, listen, you gotta be the face of your brand. You gotta be comfortable enough with yourself to put your face out there and get it. I didn't want to. I wanted to put the soap out there. I really was in a space where I don't know. I just didn't want to be all over.
Yeah.
I just didn't want to. And when he told me that, it wasn't just take a picture of yourself with the soap and put it on Instagram. It wasn't that. It was more to me. It was like, get out of your own way and show up for your brand, and show up for yourself, and put yourself out there. You have something that you believe in, I believe in, everyone loves. Get out there and let them know, like, hey, this is you, this is me, this is my. So that kind of just made me step out back into the front line of everything. Really, when I wanted to play the background, I have still got days where I'm like, I don't want to post. I just don't want to. But I think that's just my I don't know, I'm going to call it my little hippie ways. I just really want to be on a farm somewhere, being away from
just secluded from everything.
Just seclude me.
Yeah.
And I tell Lucas I'm working towards that. That's why I'm going as hard as I can.
So get that house.
No, for real. 10, 15 years, I'm going to be out there growing my own food with my kids and my animals. And I don't know, my phone is in Canton somewhere. I'm gone.
We can be our own worst enemy, though. We can be our own worst enemy at times.
Truly.
Getting out ahead of our stuff, whether it's a business, whether it's music, we always feel like we can't do it first, and we think about the outside when it comes to a lot of our passions. I mean, guilty as charged.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say, I get in the own way of my writing all the time. I'm my own biggest critic.
Yep.
And I would just completely shut down because of stuff I tell myself. Nobody's going to deal with that. Well, how are you going to know if you don't put it out there?
Yep.
We can be our own worst critics.
Yep.
Especially for things we want to do. But then when we do it and it excels, we're like, I knew that.
For real, yeah. And even I'm so, I like dissect life and think of stuff so differently and deeper, right? But even so when you said that 21 years old and that's when you start, listen, when you are talking about getting in the way of your own self and stuff, some of that stuff is like creeping up from things you ain't dealt with from the past, and you know. And then when you're stagnant or you got writer's block or you don't want to put yourself out there, it's really like we're not sure of something, and sometimes we got to just dig deep and figure out what that is and knock that out the way, and then we can thrive and we can go. You know what I mean?
100%.
But yeah.
You need a host.
Huh?
You need to host our podcast.
I need to host our podcast.
Don't
Come in here as a guest host. I'll come in as a guest host sometimes. I got y'all.
Listen, have you thought about doing your own podcast?
No.
No?
Mm-mm.
Really?
Not at all. Not a thought, honestly, no. No, and not because I don't want my own, but because, like, I see Lucas Live as mine, too, you know? And he allows for us to believe that because we put a lot of work in. But you know what I mean? A lot of work. So it's like, if I didn't see this thing as mine, like I couldn't, you know what I mean? It's like, you know, you work for a job and you go hard and you do what you got to do. But when it's something that you're birthing and you're helping to be birthed and you're helping to reach its fullest potential, it's like, I want to go hard for this. You know, I don't.
Right.
This is my podcast. You know what I mean? Like, it's Lucas Live Media, but this is mine too.
Lucas Live Enterprises.
Yeah, you know.
Real quick before we go to break, where can they follow you at?
They can follow me at Your Host Danny on Instagram. And then it's my name spelled backwards on TikTok, which is Danielle. And then Facebook is Danielle Williams. So y'all can follow me there and find me there.
Jeremy, where can they follow you, man?
You can just follow me on Facebook at Jeremy Andrew or on Instagram at _Ninja_1.
See Weez.
You can find me on Instagram at Krishan_White.
All right, Michael Zach, where can they follow you at?
You can find my Instagram and Twitter at ZWorthy68 or on Facebook, Zach Worthy.
All right, follow me Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok at Jéan P the MC, www.JeanPTheMC.com. Make sure you follow the podcast on Instagram, SWYM Podcast. You gonna stick around with us for a minute?
For sure.
All right, man. This is Jéan P the MC.
Those are some bright shoes, man.
Yeah, man. It's my birthday. I was off this week, so I bought some new Crocs.
The Wizard of Oz.
He does this sometimes. So, bro, it's my
He said I bought some new Crocs.
Yeah, man. I gotta get you some Crocs. You a Croc guy?
Nah.
Hey, we got the
Look, he got some on too.
Johnny, I've been seeing you, and you've been having this crochet hat and these Crocs on.
Yeah, man.
That's
I'm
your
on my phase
That's
right
your
now.
swag right now.
got his own style.
My homie was like, "You dating Erykah Badu right now?" Because I had the crochet hat, I'm like, nah, I ain't got the, not yet. So not yet.
Where?
The crochet hat's here somewhere. I don't know where it's
I'm about to put it on.
I swear I
It's
see
right
you have
here.
it.
There
Yeah,
it is.
that's a new one.
Got
made
head's
that?
looking real schmackable right now.
Who made that?
Shout out to my cousin Audrey Puka. She made this for me, $25. So if you looking at this, or
You paid $25?
Yeah.
Gave it to you. Oh, no, I'm not saying anything about it. I'm just
supporting
like,
black business.
I was gonna see if you got the free one. Just
No, I paid. I paid.
Slide me one.
You gotta get me.
Yeah.
You want one too?
Yeah, for free. I'm supporting, man. I'll wear that thing everywhere. You know,
All right.
You're not supporting though.
You're not supporting,
taking
you want a
money out of her
discount.
pocket.
marketing, man.
You're taking money out of her
I'm in
pocket.
everybody's
Marketing.
house.
Audrey, we gonna put you on, so we gonna get you plugged in. We right back, man. This is Jéan P the MC.
Wouldn't even be that much work. My head's smaller than.
We'll be back. Say what you mean.
half
Please.
Say what you mean what you say. I'm from the 330, where them boys don't play. Say what you mean what you say. I'm from the 330, where them boys don't play. From the northwest to the northeast, say my name once and they know it's me. Southeast.
Yo, what's up? Episode 135 of the Say What You Mean podcast. This is Jéan P the MC. We have Miss Danielle in the house. How you feeling?
Hey, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great.
Sorry about these rap takes, because they getting on my nerves, all these hip hop takes.
No,
you
they
know.
good. They good. I love a good debate.
Me too. This man's been trying to get me to be a Styles P fan for a long time.
I feel like he wanted you to get you. He was really trying to get you to be a 6ix9ine fan.
I
don't
know, for
what
real.
that's about.
That's a separate
I don't know what that's about.
That's a separate podcast. But no, man, we have Miss Danielle Williams in the house. What's up, y'all? Y'all good? Everybody straight?
I'm perfect.
That's what's up, man. Yo,
And I'm good.
you should have went to the boxing match last night, Krishan.
I was preparing for everything I got coming up on Tuesday, so I was kind of locked in. And so
That's what's up.
Shout out Marquise, man, for putting that together. That was
that was
amazing.
amazing. That was
It was a good
great.
event. I heard. Though.
Yeah.
Great. It was so cool. Last year we went and it was at the Dome. So for it being at the Civic Center this year, it was just it was cool.
That was great.
So official.
I love all these events and content and things happening in Canton because it's been a long time without it. So shout out to Marquise for putting that together. I want to do that again. That was my first time going to a boxing match.
For real?
I went with Jordan yesterday.
Yeah?
Yeah, Mr. 6'9" over there. I went with
Oh,
him
man.
yesterday.
That's what we have to call him. Yeah, I went to the one last year and then this year. So those were my only 2 boxing matches I ever been to. They was cool.
The fact that those little kids could potentially knock me out was crazy. That's what I told them. I was like, man, these kids should probably give us some work,
listen,
man.
When I was watching the little girls, I was like,
Right, them girls, I was like, oh, wow, this is
ooh.
crazy.
And I'm nothing but 5'2", so I'm lying. I'm 5'1.5", so I'm gonna just hold on to that 5'2",
yeah,
though.
so they gonna you hard to
But when they walked off there and I was recording, I said, "Ooh, they the same size."
you was
as
looking
me.
up, I'm like, oh, man.
I'm like,
you
oh
crazy.
Lord, yeah, nah.
You always round up your height though. Like I'm 5'11", I'm 6 foot.
Yeah.
You say 6 foot? It just sounds better.
Yeah.
No. Shout out to Marquise, man, for the brawl last night. That was fun.
Super fun.
So do you know what time it is?
It is sponsor time.
It is sponsor time. Our first sponsor being the Hub Art Factory. Shout out to Tim Carmody.
Shout out.
What do you think of the space, Danielle?
This space is amazing. When I walked in, I was like starstruck looking at everything. Like even this room back here, I gotta go back there, Catching the Moon room.
Heidi
Heidi.
Farber, yeah.
Yeah, these rooms are so cool. It's a good vibe in here. I like it.
Yeah, shout out to the Hub Art Factory, Tim Carmody, Aaron Dukes at Pristine Steam Wash.
Shout out to Aaron.
Shout out to Aaron and shout out to Latrice Snodgrass at Equity House.
Shout out Doc.
That's right, man. It's been a great week. Make sure you get your music and your merchandise at JeanPTheMC.com. Make sure you follow us on Instagram. Make sure comment, rate, subscribe. Please follow us. We're trying to get on YouTube, do some big things. So if you're seeing this or will be seeing this, please comment, do all those great things. So, Danielle,
Yeah, what's
where
up?
you coming from?
Where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
I'm from right here, man.
What part?
So I grew up over on the southeast, right on 3rd Street.
Okay.
by Belden.
Okay.
I was more towards St. Benedict's Church.
Okay.
And Belden was on the other side, so.
You from outside?
Yeah,
All right.
listen, I'm from
All right.
there.
All right, cool.
I went to Belden Penitentiary.
Yeah, you know. It ain't feel like a penitentiary because you know what, though? I hear a lot of stories about the old layman and the new layman. Well, I got to go to the old building and the new building. So that's my thing. Like everybody, you went to the old, I went to the new layman.
I went
didn't
to
get
the old lane,
Yeah,
East
see?
Side High.
Went to
East Side Middle
Yeah, I ain't
School.
go there. I heard a lot of stories, but I ain't go there.
You should have Jeremy tell you his Timken stories sometime.
Man,
No, it's
Timken
fine.
stories.
Everybody got a Timken story if you didn't go to Timken.
Everybody got a Timken story. I went
Jeremy
there
got
for
10
like
kids you don't know about.
I went there for like 4 days, like half program, and I was like, nah,
He
never
was like,
mind.
"No, I'm cool."
I don't want to.
What's it like growing up for you on the southeast side?
You know what? It was fun for real. Like I was a real kid. Like I was one of those little girls that I played outside. I hung with all the boys, all the kids in the neighborhood. I went and changed my clothes about 4 different times. You know, I was one of them kids. Like I'm in and out the house. I done got locked out the house a few times. You came in too many times. You know. Trying to share popsicles with everybody in the neighborhood. But my alley was so cool. My alley was the spot. Like, if it wasn't St. Benedict's, where I grew up right around the street from Amherst, it wasn't her house, or St. Benedict's, or my house.
Amherst,
Like,
Austin?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Yeah, and listen, like, shout out to Amherst. If my dad wasn't who he like, really, like, tried to keep me just so protected. I couldn't do basketball. I couldn't do boxing. I couldn't do, all my little cousins played softball. I couldn't do that. I said, man, imagine the basketball player I would have been if I would have been
like
able to
hooping?
play.
Kate?
So my kids are playing now, right?
Okay.
And I'm learning how to play. Like I'm learning. I learned what my guide hand was, and I'm learning stuff. And like DJ, when he watched me, like, man, you really could have played. I said, my dad didn't let me, man. If he would have let me, I probably would have been good.
Shout out DJ too, because DJ could hoop, man.
Yeah,
he was
DJ,
just the truth.
he is a great dad to our kids. Like he always is outside teaching them something, whatever it is. I mean, he is really hands on, and I mean, I couldn't ask for anybody better for my kids. So shout out to him.
So you couldn't play sports growing up. What were your early passions and interests?
So I did cheerleading, I did track, and I did gymnastics, and then I did a lot of stuff in high school, like extracurricular stuff, speech and debate, which I was just talking about. I did speech and debate. I did the choir. I did the yearbook club. I did all kind of stuff. But my main passion was cheerleading. I loved that, and I love what I was able to do in my adulthood with it. And then track. I like track because it was more competitive, right? And you, just like last night, I was talking to Marquise, and he had said, I was talking to Emmanuel, the guy that was honored during intermission, and he had said that what sets boxing aside from other sports is like you're really betting on yourself. Like it's really you or nothing. And the same thing is with track. When you ain't, I mean, besides your relay, other than that, it's you. You know, you got to win it. So I think I like the competitiveness of that sport. My mom and dad in the stands kind of yelling for me. Like, they ain't yelling for me on the cheerleading squad, you know.
They was watching.
I'm yelling, you know, so that seeing them being able to, like, really cheer me on in something was cool. So those two was probably my favorite, cheerleading and track.
So why exactly weren't you able to play ball and everything?
Man, I don't know. My dad... I don't know. I was a girl, so he tried to keep me girly, I guess. I don't know. But I wasn't that kid. I was really the rough and tough and that kid. Like, there was boys in the neighborhood doing backflips off of cars, and I believed that I could do whatever they did. So I was last night talking to DJ about learning how to do a back handspring. I learned in my neighborhood, and if you ever learned how to do a back handspring in the hood,
yeah, right.
it ain't, you know, you just trying stuff.
I learned on a trampoline.
Yeah, right.
I flew off.
A box spring. Yeah.
Gymnastics really more dangerous than basketball.
Right, no, for real. My dad didn't know that. He didn't know that. But then, so going to cheerleading and gymnastics and trying to, like, learn the technique of how to do a back handspring the right way, it was like, oh my God, I got to unlearn and relearn. And I broke my finger a couple of times. I broke my middle finger and my pointer finger, like once, each finger.
That's why you couldn't box last night.
Yeah, that's probably why I couldn't get in. They didn't want me to get in there, I'm trying to tell you. No.
Them gymnastics trampolines are like way different than the backyard joints, though. Because Brooklyn, she had my stepdaughter, she had a birthday party at some joint. It was like a cheerleading, like, I don't know if it was like where they go to practice or somewhere up in North Canton.
NEO.
Yeah, I think that was it up there by the Toyota joint. I think it's like off.
I know what you're talking about.
And we were all in there, and I'm like, hey, I used to know how to do a backhand. I used to know how to do stuff on a trampoline. So I got on their trampoline, and I didn't realize how that thing, the bounce on that, went way higher than I'm used to. So like my heart, as soon as I landed,
that's for training, because they're learning how to do like doubles and fulls, which is like a double is like obviously 2 tucks, right? 3 tucks and fulls and spinning around. So you need a height for that.
Rocket, like I would shot like a rocket. I'm like, no.
You can do anything
I got
on
down,
there.
my legs is all shaking.
You
She's like, you all right?
all
I'm
that.
like, yeah, I just wasn't expecting that at all.
Yeah.
And they're all like, oh, you did it. I'm like, yeah.
Barely.
Let me go to the bathroom real quick.
Do you have a favorite cheerleading memory?
Man, a favorite cheerleading memory, I would say, like, when we would go up to cheer camp, like, those were the most fun. It was the time where originally when you go to cheer campus, you try out like in May, April. You have some practices in the summertime, but then that cheer camp is where you really get to know who you about to be on this team with. Learn your coaches, learn your teammates and stuff. So I think those experiences were always the best, because you learn about yourself, how far you could, you know, how far you can take it, how far you can push it, because I know cheerleading is probably looked at as like this little, like, oh, you know, unicorns and fluffy and rainbows. No,
I was just
like,
gonna make a point about that.
I know, and like
By unicorn?
No. Like he mentioned how compared to sports, how dangerous that could be, and like I said, I almost flew off of that.
Yeah.
You fly off of those trampolines, you're going straight to the ground.
It's a wrap.
If somebody ain't there to catch you, it's over with. So like when I think about that kind of stuff, like I was gonna ask you, like, what's that training regimen like?
So I'm gonna go back to the camp. So like when we're there, like that's the time where we're finally able to work on our like skills in mounting, which were pyramids, so picking people up and throwing them up in the air, right? So I had a pretty solid like team, I guess, right? So I was a base, which meant I was the one lifting the person up, and the girl that helped me was the same. Like we were both pretty buff, pretty muscular, right? We both had it, and then we had a nice tall girl, and we had a real small girl be our flyer. So our mounts, that's our team, right? Our mount was amazing. I mean, there were girls working on certain skills for probably about 20, 30 minutes, whereas we was knocking them out like, all right, 10 minutes, we got it, boom. Mastered, you guys show the person like, all right, look, we did it, boom. Move on to the next stunt, the harder stunt. So moving on. So those were so fun to see how far we could go. And then we were able to bring some of that stuff home. Being that we was at McKinley, we couldn't stunt during Federal League games, and most of our games were Federal League, so we couldn't stunt against like Maslin and like the Barbertons and stuff like that, but we couldn't stunt when we had played like Perry, Glen Oak, Maslin, Jackson, stuff like that. So like the training is so funny. I was just talking to DJ about this last night. As far as gymnastics, the training is like, when I watch my kids do the up and down, like when they're warming up for basketball and the whole team, everybody's taking turns. They go up and they come down. It's the same thing with gymnastics, but we're working on different skills to learn and elevate us into doing back handsprings or tucks or whatever. So all kind of like handstand pops and intense backhand, like somersaults and back stuff, like all kind of stuff, right? So the training, it all sets you up to be able to do your skills, your back handsprings, your tucks, your fulls, whatever. But it was small things like I said, the handstand pops, or like I forget what they were called, but you get on the wall and bring your feet up like this, up and down, getting your shins nice and strong. Because I know if anybody ran track, if you got shin splints, same thing with gymnastics and tumbling. When you would land a tuck or land a back handspring, your shins could burn and hurt and tear you up.
That's how he felt when he landed on that trampoline.
Yeah, for sure.
I caught myself. Feet to the springs and shit.
I think those were fun, like, because you were always pushing yourself to something, a better, a newer limit. Like, I'm just pushing myself, trying to do a back handspring, trying to do this, trying to flip myself here, do this. And then even like other things besides tumbling, you got the bars, you got the beam, you got the vault, running full speed to flip over a vault, or being up on like a little balance beam, trying to do back handsprings and all type of, it was crazy. Yeah, my dad, I don't know if he knew. I don't know.
Because I've seen crazy horror stories like on YouTube of people just messing up on like stuff like that, and it's like,
yeah, you land wrong and your knees explode and stuff.
Absolutely.
Like, it's crazy how like it's not like, if something goes bad with that kind of stuff, it goes bad.
Yeah.
And that's what's crazy to me. But that's what I was gonna say. Like, there's got to be like, on top of everything you're learning there, that trust between you guys.
Oh yeah.
Like, has
gotta
to be
have that.
Oh yeah.
Strongest
And
around.
you know what? I think going to camp and stuff, so when we're in our mountain groups and stuff, we're going there, we're doing a lot of team building, a lot of bonding, and then think about it, we're together all for like 12, 13-hour days. We're together and we're working together. So that means like, I'm trying to beat this other team and we got to be the best. That means I got to be the best, but I got to get on you to be the best too. And I got to make sure we all look uniform and together. So really, I mean, if you think about it, like, we done got into arguments. Girls have done cried.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
right.
we back and forth, but it builds the team, right? And then the girls that are flying, like, me and my bases, we're getting beat up. I done walked out of practices with a busted lip, with, my eye, and I can't, whatever. Like, and
You was looking like you left that bra last night.
Listen, I wouldn't have looked like that. Y'all get off me about this. Y'all, I'm about to get in the ring. Y'all gonna see me.
That's where that leadership comes in, though.
Yeah.
For real.
To hold it together. 'Cause like, that kind of stuff's gonna happen. I mean, we do it at work all the time. Even like moving furniture and stuff. We might accidentally go too fast. Somebody falls, and it's just like, "Are you good?"
Yeah.
But like, me being a manager there, it's like, yeah, I got to keep that together, because I know you mad that he just scuffed your whole knuckle up and everything, but y'all got to do the rest of these deliveries, so y'all got to patch it up. Y'all got to get it together. So
there was the coach that just retired, Miss B. She was my coach when I was there, and I actually threw her retirement party for her. So love her, but she told a story about me and the girl that I based with after we had left. So 10 years after she's telling this story, me and the girl I based with we were best friends. And then something happened to where we weren't friends no more, and we really did not like each other. Like, one word, and it could be turned into, So, but we had to base with each other, and we never ever let what we was going through get in the way of that, because there was somebody at the top that depended on us, right? And if we into it or arguing or even had any kind of like friction between us, it was gonna show.
If y'all drop somebody and y'all beefing, I'd be mad at y'all. I'd be like, man, it's y'all fault.
Yeah, it's because y'all be here, got y'all stuff going on, right? So Miss B would always tell, like, I guess, and I didn't know about this until I had came back, and I always tell the girls about that, about, you guys, like, really? Because, I mean, I guess in the moment we didn't see it as, I guess, not much of nothing, but you leave me alone, I'll leave you alone, we got something to do.
Right.
But I guess on the outside looking in, it's like, them girls don't like each other, and they work so well together. And like some of the girls on the team didn't even know we didn't like each other. Some of the girls that we knew, they knew like they don't really mess with each other. But everyone else, like when they found out, they were shocked. Like
That
It was
team,
bigger.
know?
Yeah, it was
It's
just
big.
bigger than the beat.
yeah,
And
for sure.
maturity.
Yep.
Not a lot of people were used to seeing that.
Yeah.
And, team
And someone's safety's on the line.
Yeah.
You drop
For
them. You ever watch the cheerleading competition? They be putting them up there. Like,
No,
Yeah.
they
are
you got
up there.
you got to follow them sometimes. Sometimes they go up there. If they're doing the toe touch in the air, they might travel backwards. You have to watch and travel with them. If not,
They're coming straight
that's
down.
bad.
Like,
It's happened before. We had a practice where we was mounting at the Smith Center. Back in the day, we were on the basketball
Smith Center.
field, or no, not basketball field, the basketball court.
Like, come on now, get this point right.
In the basketball court.
I know
and
you ain't talking
What?
about getting stuff right.
Basketball field?
You score
All right,
touchdowns
okay,
in
we ain't
baseball.
going.
Right.
I know.
Go ahead. Don't listen to this fool.
They dropped somebody on the basketball court, and her back was messed up for a while. And it wasn't one of those like just bring her back down. It was throw her up, catch her, and she didn't get caught. And that was the whole gym got quiet. I mean, that was scary.
That's
Like
painful. That's like
Yes.
embarrassing, kind of. It's like,
yes,
Ooh, I
yes,
heard everybody watching too. You saw her land. You like, ooh.
saw her, heard
her
her.
phones out.
Heard her land. Nobody could even think about doing that because it was just so. She didn't like. Thank God, but she didn't get hurt badly at all. Like nothing broke, nothing. But was she in pain? Absolutely.
Hell
It
yeah.
was crazy.
Probably
Like
didn't even brace. Like
her
she
mom
wasn't
was so
expecting
mad
to
at
get
us.
caught.
I wasn't part of it, but her mom was mad. Like y'all done dropped my daughter. I was like, dang.
I wasn't on that side of the lineup.
Yeah, it wasn't me.
I wasn't over there.
I was watching.
Let me ask you this. Now, moving on from cheerleading. So after high school, you went to Akron, correct?
Mm-hmm.
What was your major?
Family and child development.
Yeah.
Yep. And with that, I was going in for early childhood, and like again, I said I didn't really want to teach like that, so I was gonna do major in the family and child development because I was already minoring in that, so I was gonna come out with 2 degrees. And early childhood, I don't know, the program at Akron just love them, but it wasn't right, you know. And if you think about education, and you know, we know back when we was in school, it was OGTs. Now it's something else. You know what I mean? Things change in education all the time. So with that being said, then what I'm learning to be an educator is going to change too.
That's
So
true.
a lot of my classes, which I didn't understand, some things that I took, they're like, okay, now this is required that you take. And I know you took that class. It doesn't like, I was like, so wait a second, y'all gonna keep me up in here forever?
Forever.
I gotta go. And I got pregnant with my son my senior year. So I had to make a decision. I said, I'm tired of school. I'm ready to graduate. And I was on the right track to graduate with my minor early, on time, then with my major with early childhood. So I was like, I'm just going to major in this, get up out of here, because I got a baby on the way. And that's what I did. And it's landed me in some pretty good spots. But Family Child Development, Akron University, 2019.
That's what's up. So tell us about the hosting and media. Now, before Lucas, did you have any type of experience with hosting or?
No, and I guess I could use like my cheer camps as like a stepping stool to hosting because I had to host the camps. I had to, introduce myself, introduce my team, introduce, talk
Public
to the
speaking to a degree.
Public speaking, exactly. And even in school, I was doing speech and debate. So being in front of people wasn't something that I was just terrified of, but it was something that I had to get used to doing a lot more. So as far as sitting down and interviewing people, not much. And DJ's family has a daycare, and I was one of the directors there. So I think that helped me set me up too, as far as talking to people, working situations out, understanding people. And I think I do a great job when I do interviews with the people in our community. Now I'm really interested though. I'm really like Culture Lounge, E-Dub. I was so interested in the story, like a lot of these people, my sister's oil, I'm so interested in what they're doing. It's so cool to me. It's so fascinating. So I really have genuine questions when I'm talking to them. So it's cool that I'm able to really ask all, like 19th hole. Like it's
Y'all
some
be
really,
tapped in, man.
it's
Yeah.
some really cool people around the city, and we get to go behind the scenes and talk to them and hear their story. And I'm just a big story person. I love to hear where people came from, what they're going through, how they got to where they got, how they got to where they're going or where they are. And so just to be that person, to be able to hear what it is, it's cool. I love it.
Do you have a favorite interview or maybe an episode you've done with Lucas or on your own that you would like to share on this show?
My favorites? Dang, I didn't think you would ask me that.
Time to hurt some feelings.
No.
With
I'm
no
trying to
disrespect
think.
to anybody else.
All right, no, look, without hurting nobody's feelings. My favorite one, I didn't interview anybody, but we did a holiday show. And I do have a favorite. I'm lying. Deja Green, when I interviewed her.
Y'all.
Sorry. Only because that was my first time being able to think through the entire interview, the way that it went. I produced it all, and it was so cool because I had clips that I wanted to show the audience as we're doing the live interview. And you guys know she's worked with the Adidas CU program, and here's a clip for that. But I thought all that through, and then to be able to see that, manifest and be a real show, I was like, I did this is so cool, right? And then our holiday show, I did the same thing. That holiday show was 3 hours long. It was insane.
That was your longest show?
Insane. Yes, I was so tired. But we were giving away stuff. We were giving away money. We were giving away prizes. We were giving away gifts. We were giving away certificates. We were giving away all kind of stuff. And people were playing games, and we put all these games, all these holiday games together, and people were engaging and really trying to win this stuff. And I think that was cool. We put a lot of businesses on, and then a lot of people in the community were able to win their products from those businesses. So it was just, those two was my top two. Those were the most fun, and I was able to produce those two. So
I'm sure the 3 hours probably didn't even feel like
it
that.
didn't. It was insane.
It was just like a vibe. You were just there,
Yeah, we have music. And then we were taste testing stuff too. So the bomb dude dropped us off our
Shout out Zach, yeah, bomb.
He brought
Bomb
us
maker.
the bomb maker.
Good
He brought us some stuff. So we're on live, trying the food out. And then stuffed pastry. My sister works at stuffed pastry in North Canton, and she brought us some pastries to try. We was just having a ball. I'm like, this is what I want to do. I love this. And we've been going out to restaurants and businesses now, talking to them, and this is cool.
You like it because you get free food? No, I'm just playing.
I like that too. Heck yeah, I ain't gonna lie. Ask Lucas, anybody I'm around. They was like, she always
Free
eating.
food.
They're gonna help us host the crockpot competition.
I was just about
I was
to
wondering
ask.
why y'all asked that question. I was like, favorite crockpot meals.
Okay, so
No shade.
we've been
but
on this crockpot thing
For
for
at
this
least
podcast.
over a month now.
Yeah, for a month.
We ain't on it. Y'all keep bringing it up.
Let me ask you. Hold on, wait.
We're trying to get people involved.
This is just random.
Okay.
Would you ever attend a crockpot festival?
Absolutely.
Why?
Because I love food.
Okay.
And I love crockpot. Yeah, there's so much cool stuff you can make in a crockpot too.
Would you be a judge and taste test this
See,
since you've done
what
things
they're
like that?
neglecting
Oh,
to tell
wait.
you is that they are completely changing up the narrative. Nobody said anything about a crockpot competition. We said nobody's going to sit there and
Danielle
watch people
likes
start
crockpots.
making meals in crockpots right there and wait for 8+ hours.
Oh, there's nothing to watch. You gotta bring it. Bring it made.
No,
Thank you.
no.
Exactly my point.
No.
While you're waiting, though,
But you
what would
can't
you like
bring
to
it
do?
made. You
While
can't
I'm
bring it
waiting?
made.
Yeah, if you're at a crockpot fest and they cooking, would you like
So
a
it's
concert?
not a crockpot fest. It's a music festival with crockpots.
What would you do?
But the main attraction is the crockpots.
What he
No, it's
said
not,
is she
because
wouldn't
you're
go.
not
It's
sitting
all
there.
right.
How is it a main
so
attraction?
the ribs burn off
Yeah, so
crockpots.
Yeah.
Yeah, so in the meantime, you got maybe some entertainment. It's a festival, right? A crockpot festival.
Yes.
I feel you, John P. I got you. I like that.
Thank
Crockpot
you.
festival. I'm sorry, y'all.
It's actually me and Jeremy's idea.
All right,
'cause
look at
these
this. He
two
looking
are
at me
mo-
like,
No,
right.
see,
It's
no,
like,
y'all
no,
can
because
brought
he's
her
saying-
bandwagon
because
too.
he's saying exactly what I said. He's just taking the long way because I said the ribs burn off does exactly what you're saying. They just don't do it in a boring way because nobody's gonna want to sit there.
And they don't have
hey,
crockpots
we're
either.
all here. Not that everybody's in here.
Oh my
Let's all
God.
throw our ingredients in here and come back 8 hours later.
See
and
how
just
mad he
He's
got about
hilarious.
that? See how mad he got about
No,
crockpots?
that's hilarious.
Because nobody's going to do that. But you would do what you just said. You would go to the ribs burn off and do a bunch of other stuff, right?
Yes.
And then you would just go back and eat when the food's ready because you wouldn't sit there and watch them make the ribs. You would just go there and enjoy the ribs.
Hey, Lucas,
after
when you
did all that
sponsor
other
this
stuff.
festival,
So-
don't get them tickets, all right? I'm just letting y'all know, okay?
Because we're all going to be judges, which is fine, but you always overstep
Yeah,
the
you're-
fact. You
you're
always overstep
completely
our
neglecting
point.
Dang,
what
what
I
I
said.
asked
I'm a Pisces, man.
It's
That's
'cause
why
it's because he oversteps our point. Our point is that
You
you
can't
can't do
omit
it. It just
details.
has to be short form,
Right,
not
right,
long
right.
form.
And
Yeah.
he
you're
just said-
omitting
he just says
details like
they
we're
don't
just
want to
saying
do it
nobody
ever at
wants
all.
to do it at all.
I don't like
that's
I
not
don't
at all
like
said.
your attitude about
We
that.
don't like
I don't like your hat.
My
I don't like your Crocs.
My hat and Croc have nothing to do with your
Okay?
taste in Crock
I don't like
pot.
your ability to
I don't
not
like
grow
the way
beard.
you
There's a
overstep
lot
the
of things
details.
I don't like.
Dang, why
If
they
he,
got you
if
like
he
that?
can't use the crock pot, that's all he has to say.
I use one
You use one?
quite frequently.
When
Actually.
the last time you used your crock pot?
2 weeks ago.
What'd you
We
make?
made pot roast. I'm sorry, what? What do you? So I'm not making the right recipes. I'm not making the recipes you authorize.
Well, can I bring something
sorry,
to
I didn't
the,
make
can I bring
buffalo
something to
chicken
the
dip for the
podcast?
16th time this month because that's what I need to survive on because I don't make much.
Can I just bring my proposal to you guys?
And salmon.
Can we just? Okay,
Go ahead.
Can
Propose
we
it.
just do this Crockpot Fest for the podcast and have Lucas?
You have.
And have Lucas sponsor it.
And Danielle can host. I'm trying to.
But there'll be other stuff to do, right? We're not just gonna sit there and watch people's crock pots.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
There's going to be other stuff to do, and it's going to be short form, not long form, not 8 to 10
Wait a minute.
hours.
3 to 4.
Danielle, what can we do?
Well, I think the ribs burnouts was hours long, right? They was cooking
All day.
For several
all day.
days too.
Right. So I think the people could get in there, get their crock pots ready before everybody get there, get their stuff going, and then once things start, all right, we almost ready, and then everybody come, they there, they got it's like a ribs burnoff.
Oh my God.
Thank you very
It's
much.
almost exactly like she said exactly what I said. And now you're agreeing with it. Oh, so it's because it comes from somebody else. See, this just proves that if I say
were
it,
good. We were
he's got to
good.
Y'all are
contradict me.
hilarious.
It
We were
has
good.
to. You have to do it. You
Williams had
can't
this
survive.
idea.
You have to do it. You have to. It's just because she said the same thing I just said.
I can't believe
At
you.
least 20
You heard my
times.
feelings about my hat. You heard my feelings about this Crockpot
It wasn't about
stuff.
hurting your feelings about the hat.
And
you
my
just said
Crocs.
you hurt mine first.
You want
So-
my hat?
No. I don't.
I don't think your hat would fit his head. It might be like 2 sizes too big. Honestly.
Y'all mean to me.
Got me looking like dude from the Cosby, one of the Cosby kids.
Mushmouth?
That was Cosby? Oh, that was Fat Albert.
Fat Albert. Right. You know, if you use your Crockpot regularly, you would know that show.
What does that have to do with,
I just said it. I don't know.
we'll let it go.
So, Danielle, thank you for your input on our
got you, I
Crockpot
got you,
Fest.
I got you.
what
But that
really-
plays into what I was going to go into before you really interrupted me. I understand what you mean by having very fun interviews because you don't have to think, because ones where you just vibe. We do that all the time.
And talk about Crockpots.
Yeah, we'll go
Yeah.
over time, all the time and be like, well, we shouldn't have did that. But it's like, I'm not going to stop a conversation
Yeah.
that I'm enjoying having
Yeah.
with somebody who's clearly
Yep.
engaged. Because
Yep.
on the flip, I'm not going to sit here and lie, say what you mean. I'll say it. There's ones on here where I'm like, again, I'm hungry. I'm ready to go. What are you talking about?
If you ate your Crockpot food before you came to the episode, you would be so.
But see, when I make crockpot food, I started in the morning. So typically when I come here, it wouldn't be done because it's 8+ hours and nobody's going to sit there and wait for that.
You're just not patient, man.
Why are you
I have
making everything
patience. I don't
8+
have
hours?
8 hours of patience because I like my food done in the crock pot.
They have different settings.
But when the time on the packaging says 8 hours, I'm putting it in there for 8.5. Okay,
You going against the grain.
I do that.
That's cool.
I like that.
Well, listen
8.5.
here. I don't want to take this from her, okay? So let's do P's positive point, okay? Where you have a quote, I have a quote, Krishan has a Crockpot point, Jeremy has a quote, you have a quote, and we out of here. You want to do that?
Crock pot point.
Yeah. You might have a recipe for us. You want to do that?
No, I
Yeah.
have more Sam Jackson quotes. That's what I got. For you. That's what I got. For you.
All right,
Recipe.
let's take this break and do this P's positive point. This is Jean Peter MC.
It's weed.
Danielle Williams in the house. Say what you mean. Peace.
Peace.
Episode
Ain't no
135.
way.
Mean that. You
no,
don't
no,
mean
no.
that.
John
mean
said
it.
that his
And he
top
doesn't
five
mean
is
it either.
John.
If you're listening and watching, we've been having rap debates all day. Jordan tried to say 6ix9ine was top
Yeah, that was
rapper,
weird.
whatever that was.
See, what does this guy do? This guy just takes your words and just.
Oh, he took Jeremy's mic.
This dude's trying to get my father.
No, I did not say that. I repeat.
Take the pictures,
He
Jordan.
had to make that clear.
It's just crazy takes, and I'm just like, I'm gonna let you say them, but I'm just chill
This
out.
is the
not
most.
gonna be happy
This is
about
the
it.
most intense episode of the podcast. Crockpots, hip hop. You know what I'm saying? We trying to talk Danielle. You know what I'm saying? Crockpots and hip hop. Lucas, this is why you make some noise for Lucas right now. Everybody clap. Let's go.
You got the air horn?
I don't got it on there.
Yeah.
God damn it. I don't got the air horn.
Lucas, he like that. He's like that.
Crockpots and hip hop.
What?
I like
That's
that.
a John P.
Canton.
original right there.
Go, man. Episode 135. Jean P. the MC. Danielle Williams in the house. Thank you for being on the show.
Man, thanks for having me. I had so much fun. I'm
You have a
not
good
gonna
time?
lie.
Glad to
Yes,
have you.
I've
Been a
had-
pleasure. Been a
I've had
pleasure.
fun.
Thank you.
You saw all of us getting all animated
I
over it.
love it though, man. Like I didn't have brothers growing up. I had god brothers, and they was just as crazy. But like in the house all day long, I didn't have it. So when I was around them, it was because it was crazy. It was chaotic. I mean, it was fun.
I didn't have any. I have a little brother now, but like growing up, because like I didn't get it. My little brother wasn't born until after I graduated, so I had him. You know what I mean? And we
See
didn't
how
live
that goes. You don't have to
we
like,
lived
that.
like-
Unfortunately.
Yeah,
I got this guy.
we lived like a block away, so like we were always at each other's house and everything, and you know, Grandma Helen and everything. She was always kicking me up out of there, like, well, why is he here? Like, it got to the point where she'd be like right in front of me. Why is he always here? Why is he like? Yeah, it's like Jazz going to like Will's house and everything.
Yeah, because I'm here.
If she could throw me out, she would.
Right.
But that woman loved me. I love that woman.
Shout out Grandma
Shout out
Helen.
Grandma Helen. But like, yeah, I mean, I do love that part of the relationship because that's what it is.
Yeah.
Like, it's just really become.
So what you're saying is you feel like family here.
Yeah, man. Y'all made me so welcome.
Thank
Like,
you, of course.
It
We
was,
want our guests to feel comfortable.
Yeah.
And Lucas is in the building, so shout out
Doing
Lucas,
his
man.
thing.
Doing this thing, getting some content.
supervising.
Yeah, man.
That's my bodyguard, y'all. Y'all didn't know. That was my bodyguard.
Yeah. All right, Charles, y'all know what time it is, man. Peace, positive point. We share our favorite quotes that mean something to us for the week. Who'd like to go first?
I'll go first.
All right, man. Do you want to go first?
I mean, I would have, but it's cool. No, go ahead. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Go ahead, Jim.
Privilege.
Mine's
Privilege. Go ahead.
mine's just short and simple.
He's uncomfortable now.
White privilege.
Oh, God.
Go ahead,
Y'all
Jeremy.
not right.
It's fine, Jeremy. We'll all go to the back of the
Legally,
bus.
never mind.
He's positive privilege.
Let him get his point out. Go ahead.
Mine's short and simple. It's turn your wounds into wisdom.
Love that.
What's that mean to you?
I mean, just pretty self-explanatory. Just learn from your mistakes. Anytime you fall, just get back, learn from it, and just keep on going.
I like that, man.
Yeah.
What you got, Weez? What Samuel Jackson quote did you
I don't actually have that this time.
What you got today, man?
I did the quote that Sam Jackson does in Pulp Fiction, the one episode where he's getting ready to gun those guys down. I just did the whole thing.
I didn't even know you
they didn't
did.
pick it up till I got halfway through, and like I'm reading, and I'm like, I wish you guys would pick up. I don't want to read the whole thing. But mine kind of backpacks off of Jeremy's. It's rock bottom became the solid foundation in which I rebuilt my life. And for me, that was just like, you know, obviously, you know, I've gone through a whole lot last couple of years, and it took a lot of not rebuilding my life, but rebuilding me, because like I had to completely like rebuild my image, like rebuild who I am. I had to rethink like, who am I? And this is who I'm going to be every time I walk out of this building, when I wake up, when I get out of bed, all of that. Like, so for me, all the things that I've dealt with taught me a lot about who to affiliate with, what to do, like how not to move, you know, just the kind of people I want to be around. And it changed up a lot of things for me. And like, it's beneficial because like now, you know, with the family I got now and everything that I helped make, and we got one on the way.
Oh,
and
congratulations.
everything. And I appreciate that. And it's just like the foundation, like the ways that I step into this relationship, and you know, it's healthy, and I feel it healthy, and it makes me excited to be in that relationship. And I know I would not be this person if I didn't go through the things that I went through the last 24 months. And as much as it sucks, I don't regret it. You know, I can't say I changed too much, but you know, I'm grateful for the sleepless nights, because you know, it gave me enough time to talk to God when things were quiet, and you know, you're able to hear a lot middle of the night when you can't sleep over this kind of stuff, and that's when he's the loudest. And I've learned that, and you know, I found comfort in that, and you know, things don't hurt as much anymore, and I love that for me.
I love that for you too.
What's
That
up,
was
man?
great. That was really great.
Need some tissue in this.
No,
motherfucker.
for real. And that both of what y'all said is facts. Like, and I tell my kids all the time, in order for you to learn, you got to mess up. Go out
That's
there and
real.
mess up.
Yeah. You
have to
Mess
make
up.
mistakes.
Yeah,
Have
like
to.
even as far as we were talking about the cheerleading and stuff, like you gotta learn how to. My kids learn how to ride a bike. He fell off the bike, and I'm like, bro, you don't even know how to fall right.
Right.
You gotta catch yourself, son. You
Yeah.
can't let yourself
Can't
go.
fall.
You gotta
Yeah.
fall right. But that is what y'all said.
And for me, like I said, in a world where I had nothing but people who I've never even sat in a room with, never had a conversation with, telling me who I am and the kind of person I am, it's like, no, I know who I am, but I had to tune all of that out, you know, because if I didn't, I was gonna let that mold me into something that it just ain't me. And to
And
be in a much
sometimes God
happier
gotta
space.
take stuff from you.
And I my dad being a pastor, he does that all the time because there's a lot of times where like I ain't gonna lie, I got shaken faith. I ain't a perfect Christian, you know what I mean? But like he doesn't get mad at me when I tell him those things. He just lets me know like, look, read this, go read this, and I'm trying to remember because I ain't gonna sit there and pretend I know all of it, but like all the Bible. But there's a passage where it talks about God taking away all of this stuff from this guy, and it was just like a kind of like a, will he turn against me if I took this away? And he didn't. And he was just, rewarded with much more. And it's like, even when I have everything taken away from me and I was, in a basement, thought I was just locked in a dungeon that I've made of my own making, in my mind, I pretty much just clawed myself out of that. And I still held my faith as hard as it was.
Yep.
And things are just much better for it.
Yep. That's
Now
why
I
I
know how
am
to
where I
handle it.
am because I went through a year like that. A year of like, listen, I didn't have a job for a year.
Yeah.
That was because I wanted to go and do my business and whatever, but I had to rely on faith and nothing but that. And there were times where it was like, what am I about to do tomorrow?
Yeah.
What's going to happen?
But I never, in them spaces, never ever questioned where it would come from because I knew it would be taken care of. I had that much faith in my situation that it would be taken care of. And everything I wanted to do happened. Like I'm living a life that I'm happy and proud to live, and I'm happy doing things that I'm doing. But I had to go through that time. A year of just isolation, a year of not having it, a year of not knowing where it was going to come from. All I had was faith. And like when I started to work with Lucas and I started to get into the mentorship programs and stuff, I was like, dang, this is where all that time, this is where it led me to. And I'm grateful for that time. Just like you said, like it was rough, it was tough, it was lonely, it was scarce, but sometimes you gotta hit rock bottom. Strip yourself from everything you thought you were, everything, and rebrand and find a new image and
learn from all of that.
Exactly what it was. And like for me, it taught me an appreciation for the things that I have now.
Yep.
Because now it's like, I talked to them before on a previous episode where I said like, not that I was out here living wrong. Like I was never really in trouble and stuff.
Right.
But like, now that I'm moving the way I'm moving now, it's like I become addicted to doing the right thing. Like I'm addicted to making sure my family's secure. Like I'm addicted to making sure my household is locked down. I'm addicted to that.
Your
and I love
mindset
it.
changes.
Yeah, and before it was just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna make sure shit's cool. But like now it's, I need to feel
You got
that.
more
Like,
intention behind it.
I need to see them. I need like them seeing them happy over something that needs done, or them not even knowing that I took care of this already, but they're benefiting from it. Like that feeling. Like that's what I drink up. Like I eat. Like I love that. And yeah, it's almost substance abuse. I love like you almost get high off of it.
That's
Seeing them
dope.
happy.
That's dope. I love
Yeah,
that.
man. Good point, Weege. Michael Zach, what you got, man?
I'm not a hateful guy,
Of course not.
It's hard to follow up Faith with Dr. Seuss, but we can give it a go. We're going to give it a go.
He doesn't have one of those. Thought he had a faith. I thought he had a quote for it.
What you got? Let's see. What you got?
You never know.
You never know.
Let's see.
Fantasy is a necessary ingredient in living. It's a way of looking at life through the wrong end of a telescope. Dr. Seuss.
I like that too.
What's that mean to you?
Well, yeah.
Don't lose your imagination, right? So no matter how old you get, no matter what you're doing in life at that moment, if you think of new ways to do things, hip hop and crock pots.
I like that, Zach. Come on,
Yeah,
yeah, there you go.
I can resonate with that though, because like I
looking
said,
at
I
life.
want to get into filmmaking and everything, but I realized that came from when I was a kid, just locking myself in my room, playing with my action figures and everything like that. So I'm just essentially wanting to do the same thing. It's just my action figures are actors.
Yeah,
So,
don't lose your imagination. Keep the imagination.
for sure. I'm with
Good
that 100%.
point, man.
Yeah, that was
Dr.
great.
Seuss.
All right. You want to go or you want me to go?
I can go.
Go ahead.
Okay, so this is like I said, this is a Danny original. So there was, like I said, I was going through some things. This was probably about, probably like 7 years ago that I made this quote, and now it's on my website, and it's in the affirmation book that's on Amazon. And it's, if you don't like it, change it. Now, that was the first part of it. And I kept that for a long while. If you don't like it, change it. There was things about myself I didn't like. And I was like, well, what am I going to do about it? All right, well, change it. If you can change it, change it. And like the way I spoke to people and like the way I, all right, I got to change that up. Now, there are certain things about myself that I can't change. What am I going to do about that? So I said, if you don't like it, change it. If you can't change it, embrace it. So the things that I didn't like and I couldn't change, I learned to love like 10 times. Like I learned to love them and embrace them. So that's my quote, and it's on my website, The True Body Co., and it's in my affirmation journal.
Yeah, plug that.
Yeah, it's called Mind Over Matter. It's an affirmation journal. There's affirmations on each page, and you kind of just, that's what got me to where the mindset I am now. I journaled. I have like 10 journals that I just needed. I brought them everywhere in my purse, in my car. Whenever I needed an outlet, I would just journal, and it helped me. So now I put out a journal for everybody else if they need help. So it's on Amazon, Mind Over Matter, The True Body Co., and that's my quote.
All right, thank you. And my positive point is simple. It's never too late to fight for the things you want in life. And Drake said that, which is crazy. Fight for the things you want in life. This week I've been on vacation, so this is the first time I've had to work or do nothing. And, I would always think about wanting to work hard to have a job where I could just sit back because I worked hard. I don't really know how to sit still because I'm always doing the podcast or music or working another job. Yeah. So, like, fighting for those things I want in life, working so hard to sit back and be like, yeah, I did that, made me feel so good this week, because I was joking about him saying stop working while you're off, but, it felt good to just sit back, because I worked hard for this. I always wanted to have a life where I was comfortable as an artist. Yeah. I was comfortable as a worker. I was comfortable as a podcast host. We get so caught up in the money and all that stuff, but sometimes just being comfortable is what I've always fought for. Yeah. I've always fought for comfort in my life, because it wasn't comfortable all my life, and that was something I fought for, was peace of mind and creativity and being able to do things I want. So I like that Drake said that. He says a lot of dope things.
Yeah, he do.
But yeah, it's never too late to fight for the things you want in life.
Is Drake in your top 5?
I know I'll be giving you shit like about working on vacations and everything, but I get it because like whenever I go on vacation, I feel guilty. So I'm like, oh man, I can't take a whole week off of work.
Oh, I feel so
Why would
guilty.
I do that?
I don't feel
What's
guilty
gonna
at all.
happen?
But you gotta get your mind out of that, because sometimes we work so hard. We gotta like, as far as like working, right, and getting your job, and people saying like, don't go and spend all your money. Like, don't be mindful, but you ain't working to not buy yourself that little purse, or for me, that purse that you ain't that you wanted. Why you been working all this hard? You can't, you know what I mean? Or the phone, upgrade my phone, or just whatever. Like,
We treat ourselves over here.
Yeah, exactly. Like, be mindful and spend wisely, but also take care of yourself.
For sure.
Take care of yourself. Love on yourself.
I didn't feel guilty being on the couch. I was like,
I went on vacation and I started door dashing. Went out and made more money.
No, that's hilarious. Where did I go? I was telling DJ, I was like, you want to DoorDash? He was like, Danny, no. I was like, I mean, we got like 2 hours to do nothing. Like, you might as well make some money.
Right.
Oh my God, that is so
It's
funny.
like me on my day off this past Thursday. I was sitting there. She was like, she called me. She was like, you can just go home. Because I went to work on my day off because I was just putting in the OT. Just because I needed. And I went home and she was like, what are you going to do? I was like, I was probably just go home and clean up and everything, blah, blah, blah. Got home and forgot I cleaned up the night before, whole house. So I'm like, well, what am I going to do? Sat down to play the game. This doesn't feel right.
Yeah, right?
Every chief at work.
I'll never feel bad about vacation.
Working so hard.
Then, like, I'll do it.
I get that. I get a week off to not think about work, not deal with work. I'm gonna do that.
But then, like, she'll like see, like, I'll be playing the game and she'll be completely cool. I'll be like, everything cool? Like, you all right? Do I gotta turn this off? She'll be like, no, you're fine. Do that. Go, please. And I'm like,
Please,
all right,
go.
You sure? But it's like the PTSD, because like I've been in relationships where it's like, is this all you're gonna do all day? It's like, I worked all day. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna do all day.
Exactly.
Right, for the rest of the day,
I'm playing the game all day.
My girl's the same way. My girl's like, no, go play the game. Leave me the fuck alone.
Get me out of here.
Like, to the point where she made me set a TV up in the room next to the living room. She was like, you can go do that. That way we're still around each other.
Aww.
And I'm like, I didn't know that was that's legal.
Is that allowed? I'm allowed to do that?
Y'all lucky.
Right, but that's the thing. It was like I said, that's how I know I'm in a much healthier space, because like it's like she knows the stuff I'm into. She knows everything. She doesn't like ever judge me on my interests and stuff like that. And it's just like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna make sure you have an outlet to do that, but still be around me so that we, don't feel like you got to go all the way upstairs to play your game or something like that. You can still do that. And then it's like, well, let me go in here and just make sure dinner and everything else is done, because I feel like this is a trap.
Weez is so grateful. Weez is so grateful he gave her a kid.
Yeah, it was like, well, you're stuck with me now.
There you go.
Plot twist, you thought I trapped you. I trapped you.
Healthy love, healthy life, and healthy crock pots in 2024, right?
We've been drinking water, you know what I'm saying?
Gardening.
Yeah, it's nice. That too. I've been waiting for this weather to break because I told Brooklyn, I was like, yeah, we're gonna get out here. I'm about to get all this stuff over from my grandpa's house. We're gonna chop all these old weeds and stuff up out of here. We're gonna get going.
It's time.
I did that all last year. We bought a house off the sheriff auction, and so we've been fixing it up and getting our yards together. We done grew some blueberries. We done grew some onions. I got an apple tree. I killed it. I gotta bring it back to life.
I just saw onions like how they look when they're growing for the first time not too long ago. They look like alien spores.
Mo, you literally probably have walked past so many. You didn't know that there was an onion under there.
It's an onion, like the way they look, the way they grow. They actually grow super tall out of the ground.
Like you ever seen like the green onions? That's what they look like growing up.
No.
And I'm just like, wow. I didn't know that.
Well, this is gardening.
Tomatoes and some peppers too. And I promise you, I would never go into Walmart or wherever and buy some tomatoes and eat them. But the ones that I grew,
fire.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So much better.
Mm-hmm. You need to come up for a gardening episode.
Nah, I ain't that elite yet.
But no, like my grandma growing up, they did everything from greens, potatoes, all of that right in the backyard.
Yeah.
And my grandpa still does tomatoes. So like when I started to get hip to the whole thing, he helped me with that first. And I got a few green ones, but they didn't get too big. But I was just like, I can do it.
Yeah.
So that means like I would just go out there and I'm gonna just do my own thing. I'm gonna make my own. And she wanted to come here today, but then I was like, you can only really talk on the breaks. She was like, oh. Well, I'll go another time then.
Yeah.
But yeah, like she wants to do that with me, and it's super cool, you know, having, you know, a little homie running around the house and stuff like that. I love that.
It's funny you said about it being big. Like a lot of the fruits and vegetables we eat, if they crazy big, they're not right.
Touch them.
They're not right.
They
like
weren't. Everything was much smaller.
Yes.
I realized.
I don't touch no.
The peppers, I buy small peppers now when I buy them. Like the big peppers, they're not right for you. Like the cucumbers, I buy mini cucumbers. Like the big ones.
I don't want that too big either.
I'm definitely trying to. I was on the fence about doing like half, you know, just cosmetic visual type stuff, and then half food. I just don't know what I want to do yet, but I know I already got the space plotted out for all of it. So
that's what's up,
once I start growing food, y'all know I'm a vegetarian. I've been vegetarian for 7 years.
Really?
Oh.
So once I grow my food outside, I'm not gonna need nothing.
That's dedicated.
True.
That's dedication.
I can't not eat. I can't even finish this.
Zach eats everything.
Yeah, because I was looking at you.
Like what?
Everybody around me thinks the same
Beef
thing.
and
Like,
chicken and animals.
No, I'm a meat eater though. Like for real, like I get it. Like I have to. Like I can't do.
You gotta eat what?
Protein.
Okay, there you go.
Pause. Yeah, what is that?
not the pause.
Right, yeah.
And he changed up so quick.
Yeah.
The protein.
We was all like,
protein.
wait, what? No, but real quick, any shout outs before we get out of here?
Shout out to you guys. Shout out to Say What You Mean. Thanks for having me.
Appreciate
Shout out to my big brother, Lucas.
Shout out Lucas Live.
Shout out Lucas.
Shout out to my family, DJ and my family, my kids, Dareem, Sonny. You know, I'm away a lot. And sometimes they come with me or they're not. So shout out to them for just supporting me with everything that I'm doing, all these podcasts and shows and events that I'm at. They're able to come to something. So like last night, they were all in the building for the bra. So, but shout out to them for letting me live this life because it's so busy. But, you know, I get to come home to my kids and my family, and that's just the perfect way to end the night of a bunch of chaos.
Any last shout outs from you fellas?
Friends, family, the pod. Shout out my girl, Portia, a.k.a. 1080p, a.k.a. Master
1080p.
Shout out her daughter, Brooklyn. Shout out my family, my dad for sure. You know, he's definitely making sure everything is good up top and everything all the time, and that's really important. But outside of that, just... Hey, shout out the people who did the last Airbender on Netflix because that one actually went well.
Man, shut up, man. Jeremy, what's your shout out? Go ahead.
Just shout out you guys, the pod. Shout out my niece. She turns 1 today, so I'm gonna stop over
happy
there.
Happy birthday.
6'9".
Huh?
Shut up, Christian.
Shout out Chameleonaire over here.
Zach, you got any shout out?
Shout out Seth Rogen.
I'll take it, Earl Sweatshirt.
Yeah, he got your ass, bro. Go ahead, Zach.
Shit, man.
Got a real sweatshirt.
Man.
You better hush up, John.
Hey, I'm over here. You already got on me in my head. Go ahead, Zach.
Hey, shout out to Pa, shout out Danny for coming and kicking and showing out per usual. Lucas and Jordan in the building, Chase over there in the building. Shout out everybody.
Shout out, man, Chase.
Shout out my girl. She had a rough month with like medical issues and stuff, so she's finally on the up and up. So shout out Colleen.
Shout out Colleen.
So everybody's happy, healthy, and getting better every day. Shout
out to Danielle for being on the show. My man Lucas. Shout out Jordan. Chase in the house. Jeremy, Seaweeds, Michael, Zach. Shout out DJ too, man. That's my guy. I saw him yesterday. It was like refreshing seeing him because we was little guys, man. And seeing us all growing, it's like, man, this is crazy.
Yeah, listen.
So shout out to DJ. Shout out to everyone for listening to the show. We are going to be going to YouTube, so make sure when you go there, follow us. Comment, rate, like, subscribe. Want to shout out to Jordan again, man. He's really been helping us with this podcast on the visual side, so we appreciate you for the tips. We don't appreciate your rap takes, though. But appreciate you. Don't come on this mic. Don't touch it. Go ahead, Jeremy. Go ahead. Hurry up. We got to cut it off.
He's coming to sit down.
Shouts to hip hop. Shouts to the Heights. You know what I'm saying? Heights all day.
Say what you mean. We'll see y'all next week, please.
Say what you mean. Mean what you say. I'm from the 330, where them boys don't play. Say what you mean. Mean what you say. I'm from the 330, where them boys don't play. From the northwest to the northeast, say my name once and they know it's me. Southeast to the southwest, no arguments. Yeah, I got next, Jean P. 1, 2. Let me talk my shit again real quick. I will not settle. These